This is Aaron from Solo's Hold and the NerfWorks Lab, the Rebel Armory Forum, social media, the Replica Prop Forum. Today I'm going to do a video breaking down the parts of the Luke Skywalker version 2, The Real Hero by the NerfWorks Lab. Now, I know you guys have been waiting for this for a long time, and here it is. So without further ado, I'm going to start with one part. We'll talk about the fasteners, how the parts assemble. There's not really too much to it. It's pretty straightforward. And a lot of this is to do with accuracy. It all has to do with accuracy, but making it accurate and effects ready. Now, Guthrie Designs, who's also part of the NerfWorks Lab, is working on the newest chassis. And we are working on another heatsink variant for the string blade. So bear with us. Which is all going to tie together. So, parts. We'll just go over them one at a time. This is the grenade section. This is the booster. This is the emitter. And this is part of the emitter that attaches. There was no other way of doing this to accomplish making it accurate to the screen use prop. These are emitter flanges. This is the static or display flange. This is for a 7/8 blade. This is the nipple of the emitter. This is the steel bung that goes inside of it like that. We have the accurate cone knob, which is replicated from the actual part that was used in the screen use prop. We have the mystery chunk, which is made of steel, so it will rust. You can see that, but it's a tiny thing. We'll get more into that. You can find some of these ancillary parts on at www.soloshold.com if you want to update your old V2 and adapt that. We have a spacer. Now this spacer will drop in the neck here if you're going to do a static build or display and you want your emitter to spin. We have the D-ring. All the way back to the drawing board. These are all custom made to our specs. These are accurate down to the 1/1000th of an inch. And these are made from plated steel. We have the lever, which is made from brass, and this is all to Scott's specs, as taken from the screen use prop when he got to go hold it and handle it in his research, which is many years worth of research, and I'm sure that he'll expand more on that in the coming future. So it's nickel plated brass lever, it's got a stainless steel screw, and it's got the block nut that you would use to replace the bar in your Graflex clamp or Graflex clamp replica. These are the emitter flanges. This is for the static. This is for a 7/8 blade. This is the heatsink. There's going to be more on that soon also. Two pommels. Accurate, display, vented for sound. They are identical, except for one has holes in the bottom of them. Alright, on to, I said booster, right? Yeah, on to assembly. So these have three 1024 set screws that you will use an Allen key. Now you can buy Allen key sets. These are all Imperial, and you should be able to get every one in a set that will assemble this saber. So you just put them in until they're flush. With the top of the booster, because you don't want your Graflex clamp to not be able to sit down on this part of the booster in the grenade section where it goes on, like so. Now these are slip fit. Be nice with your parts. If you gall them up, you're gonna have trouble fitting them together. So just be nice and take your time. Moving on. drop this spacer in the emitter, and we will put the threaded adapter for the heatsink and the emitter to go on. I'm going to get more into these parts and how to assemble it in a second, and this is important because there are set screws in these parts. Let me just grab another set here. And all these holes have to line up when you assemble them. They're a 440 screw that's 7/16 of an inch long, and the emitters also have them on each side. They're 180 degrees out from each other. Now these slip fit in there, and what you want to do when you assemble your saber is make sure that you don't force the screw. It is a 7/16 440 screw, set screw, that will go through all of the parts one into each other. So just take your time, and the reason these are there is for accuracy, and they also double as blade retention if you're going to do it in FX build. Oops. So let me move back to the saber. So you can see the emitter spinning. If you don't want it to spin, you can take the spacer out of the neck and it will not spin. And we have this heat sink that screws inside of the emitter. You can slip a 7/8 blade over that and between that and sandwich it. And then there it is. For this purpose, we're going to do display. So we put our bung in the end of the nipple. There are two 632, I believe 3/16 length, yes, set screws, which are accurate. And you'll set that on the emitter, or on the heatsink rather, and the emitter. And we will make sure we line up all our holes. Now remember, there's three parts that have holes. There's the screw part that screws the emitter onto the neck of the grenade, this part, and the outer emitter. Everything's precision. So make sure that you line up your holes and take your time putting your set screws in. Pommel has a 348 tapped hole for the mystery chunk. You're going to want to put the mystery chunk on first. So I have put the 348 set screw, a tiny little thing, into the mystery chunk with the Allen key. It's in. I will take it. I will screw the mystery chunk on. And you can take the mystery chunk and move it between pommels, depending on what you want to do. A pommel slit fits into the booster, and it uses a 632 3/16 set screw in a groove, just like we've been doing for the better part of a decade on our heat sinks and other parts. You just screw it in, and it locks the pommel in. It cannot come off under any circumstance. So there is a 632 5/16 length set screw that goes in the bottom of the cone knob. There is a hole, a threaded hole, for the cone knob to screw into. Now you can see there's a gap around the nipple. Which makes it accurate. And there it is.